Hi you guys, if you want to learn how to make my easy and delicious strawberry crunch funnel cake, stay tuned. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is macerate our strawberries. And what does that mean? Maceration is pretty much soaking a fruit in juice to soften it. So that is what we're going to be doing with our strawberries. And how we're going to do that is by cutting them up just like so. And then we're going to add just a touch of lemon juice just to, kind of brighten up those flavors of the strawberry. And then we're also going to be adding in some sugar, which is the main process of the maceration because it draws out the liquid, the natural juices in the strawberry. So I added 3 spoonfuls of sugar to my strawberries. You definitely want to test your strawberries out, taste them to see how sweet they are. You may get away with just adding maybe 1 or 2 spoonfuls, but my strawberries were pretty tart, so I added 3. And I put a lid on it and let that sit in the refrigerator for at least 20 minutes, okay? Next, we're gonna work on our whipped cream, which is super easy, you guys. So I'm just adding heavy whipping cream to a bowl, and I'm whipping that on high speed until it gets to a very, very soft, still kind of loose consistency. I don't like to add anything to my whipping cream until I kind of get it to this consistency here. So it's still loose, but as you can see, it has thickened up a lot. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in my powdered sugar, and you can add in as much or as little as you would like. Remember, heavy whipping cream really tastes like nothing. So I'm adding in my powdered sugar, and I also added in a little splash of vanilla extract. So I want to start off on slow speed after adding that. If not, then powdered sugar will be everywhere. And then I'm going to gradually increase my speed. You don't want to over whip your whipping cream, you guys. It still needs to have a little give to it. You don't want it to be super stiff because if you go too far, you're going to end up with like a sweet butter, which doesn't sound bad. It'll be really good on some biscuits or something, but that's not what we're going for here. So we're going to go ahead and pop that into the refrigerator. And now we're going to work on our super duper easy strawberry crunch. And I am using some freeze dried strawberries here. And this is how it looks. If you haven't seen freeze dried strawberries before, I'm adding a little bit of that, maybe a third a cup or so to a Ziploc bag. And I'm going to take a mallet just like this, and I'm going to start crushing up those strawberries. So you don't need a food processor or anything like that. You can use a mallet like I'm using here. You can use a rolling pin or even the bottom of a pan. Just use what you have on hand. So I don't want to go too far with crushing up these strawberries because I do want them to still have some texture to it. I don't want it to turn into powder, but this is how they look after crushing them up. So now we're going to move on to the second ingredient in this strawberry crunch, which is Chessman butter cookies, you guys. These are so good, y'all. I love these cookies. I use these when I make my banana pudding. Y'all, these are so good, so buttery, and so delicious. I'm using roughly 10. I know you see 8 here, but I ended up using 10 of those Chessman cookies, and I'm going to do the same thing. I don't want to crush up the strawberry part anymore, so you guys see I'm kind of separating them. And after I get the cookies to the consistency that I want, I'm just going to kind of shake those 2 things together. And that is it, y'all. That's how I make my strawberry crunch. Super duper easy, and it tastes amazing. All right, so I'm just going to transfer that to a bowl, put a lid on it, and I'm going to set that aside until I'm ready to use it. You guys, you can just pop this into the refrigerator, and it can keep up until about a week or so in your refrigerator. So now we're going to move on to our actual funnel cake, you guys, and I'm going to be using pancake mix. Yes, you guys, pancake mix. And I am using this brand. You don't have to use this brand, but I highly suggest you use the complete brand so you don't have to use the milk or an egg for it to turn out right, okay? So I'm using a heaping cup of that pancake mix, and I'm using roughly 3/4 of a cup of water. You definitely want to pour it in gradually until it gets to this consistency. It is not too loose as if you're making crepes or something like that, but it's not super duper thick either, okay? So I'm going to take a cup here, go Gators, and I'm going to take a smaller Ziploc bag. I'm going to put that in the cup just like so, and this is just helping me to not make a complete mess by trying to pour the batter into the Ziploc bag. So easy tip here for you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and pour that in just like so. Take it out of the cup and zip it up, and then you're going to snip just the tiniest hole at the bottom of your Ziploc bag. Try not to make the hole too large because then your batter would just start spilling out everywhere. So now we're here at our hot grease, and we're just going to go ahead and make figure-8 motions. You definitely want to do this fast, because if not, you're just going to have like little pieces of dough floating and they're not going to connect. So try to make like figure-8 motions, make circular motions, but work really fast so the dough can stick together like you want it to. All right, so once we're done with that, we're just going to let our funnel cake fry a couple minutes on each side. You guys, it'll definitely be an easier process if you have like, metal tongs, but improvise if need be. I just used 2 forks and I flipped it and it wasn't any issues for me. And look how beautifully golden brown our funnel cake is. So we're just going to continue to let that cook on the other side until our dough is done. And this is how it looks. I'm just going to go ahead and transfer that to a lined plate. Make sure you let it drain, you guys. If not, it's going to be kind of a greasy mess. Okay, so make sure you let your funnel cake sit on some paper towels to drain for a little bit. And look how delicious that looks, you guys. So I'm just showing you guys, I'm doing a second one. Again, you want to make sure that you're working pretty quickly during this process. And as you can see, with the 1 cup of pancake batter, I was able to make 2 really nice size funnel cakes, okay, which was plenty for my family of 4. Okay, so this is the same process. You're going to let it cook on both sides and let it drain on a paper towel. So now we are going to assemble our strawberry crunch funnel cake, and we're going to start off by putting on some powdered sugar. If you want to just eat your funnel cake just like that with the powdered sugar, that is absolutely delicious on its own. But we're going to go ahead and add our macerated strawberries, and look at all of those beautiful juices that our strawberries created, you guys. So yummy. Next, we're going to add our whipped cream, and you can see the consistency is just beautiful. I like my whipped cream like this. I don't like a super thick whipped cream, but again, if you like that, then you can just whip yours for a little bit longer. But I love for my whipped cream to be this consistency, just beautiful. We're going to add in some more strawberries just like so, and a little bit more whipped cream, because why not? Next, we're going to sprinkle on our strawberry crunch. Oh my goodness, you guys. And last but not least, you're going to drizzle with a little bit of strawberry syrup. And that is it, you guys. My easy and delicious strawberry crunch funnel cake, y'all. Listen, this set me back like 2 workouts. But let me tell y'all something. It was worth it. It was worth every bite. This was so delicious, y'all. Oh my gosh, you definitely have to give this recipe a try. The funnel cake was crunchy on the outside but soft and pillowy on the inside. The strawberries were beautifully macerated, softened and sweet. The whipped cream was just brought everything together. The strawberry crunch is just delicious, y'all. The perfect addition to this funnel cake, you guys, just to send it over the top. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you give this recipe a try, I hope you love it just as much as we did. I thank you guys so much for watching as always. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and even share it with a friend. I love y'all, and I will see y'all on the next one. Until then, bye.